Hey everyone, Marko here, your friendly neighborhood Bob Ross of Dune Awakening. I make guides for that chill solo player out there just trying to survive Arrakis without having a mental breakdown. So if that sounds like you, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and let's talk about where this wild ride is headed next. Now, let's be real for a second. Since the big launch in June, Dune Awakening has it's collapsed like a sandblasted base. We peaked at 189,000 players, but now we're sitting around 16,000 daily and 17,000 active in mid-September. That's a drop of 90% of the player base. Why, you ask? Well, it's a cocktail of no new content, punishing survival mechanics, decaying bases, game-breaking bugs, and some pretty gnarly exploits. And add to that fact that Funcom is now laying off devs. Things are looking a little shaky for us sandwalkers. But survival isn't for the faint of heart. Let's talk about the mechanics. If you stop playing for even a week, your base could be gone. You're paying taxes, you're dodging sandstorms, and you're trying not to lose progress when a bug decides to delete your stuff for fun. Now, to be fair, the devs have tried to course correct. They've fixed some of the bugs, they've scaled back PvP zones, they've tried to add safe zones, but let's be honest, what we really want is something exciting to do. Now, the latest fixes and why they might be a hint. They just dropped a few helpful updates. Bank slots have increased from 25 to 500. Inventory volume jumped from 1,500 to 30,000. Assault Thopter storage has doubled. Vehicle recovery is now live, and more on that in my last video. So why all the new storage? I think it's obvious. They're letting us take a break. Go play something else, keep your expensive belongings safe, and come back when the good stuff drops. And I think that good stuff is finally coming. You ready? Worm riding. Yep, Sandworm Riding is finally on the horizon. And that might be just the Hail Mary pass that this game needs to bring players back to the desert. Let's rewind to Gamescom 2022. The big reveal trailer there. Thopters were flying, sandstorms were rolling in, and then bam.
Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. Face my fear. I will permit it to pass over and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. When the fear is gone, there will be nothing.
Worm riding. Maker hooks were out. A player jumps onto Shai-Hulud like a total badass. The trailer had a voiceover directly from the books, super lore-heavy and incredibly hype. Now here's what production director Ole Andreas Halvorsen said about it. So when we do bring stuff like Sandworm Riding into the game, it'll feel like an epic moment, like in the movies, still respecting how the lore described it and how complicated that is as a thing. You have to be trained in the Fremen ways to be able to even attempt such a thing. And then, at the same time, it needs to be an interesting gameplay mechanic. And that's a tricky balance to strike, but I think the team can pull that off. Of course, you can't trivialize the sandworm, because that breaks Dune. Translation? It's not going to be easy. You won't be spawning worms left and right like Uber rides. This is going to be lore-rich, mechanically complex, and probably deep desert only. Now the clues are already there. We've already seen the 8 trials, right? A quest line that taught us Fremen culture and gave us a still tent, a thumper, a compactor, and a Fremen death still. You get killed by a worm, boom, you're rewarded with a Kryze knife. So it makes perfect sense that future trials could reward us with, maker hooks. My theory, worm riding is coming soon. It'll be hard, probably locked behind some grueling challenges, and only for those brave enough to venture deep into the desert, but it's coming. And honestly, it might be exactly what this game needs to breathe life back into the player base. So let's talk. What do you think? Is worm riding the comeback mechanic we've been waiting for? Or is it too little, too late? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear you. Now, if you're digging this content and want to ride shotgun with me through the next wave of Dune Awakening, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and as always, stay safe out there, sleepers.